Dean, be prepared when electricity isn't readily available.
Well, not like we're going to go to Neil's Amish shoeing buggy that he's got over at the trade show over there, but still, it is nice to have electricity available. And the point being is that when you're going to these backyard horse clients, the outlets just aren't necessarily where you want them, the length that you want them. I always carry an extra extension cord, number one. Number two, also too, with some of these older barns, I just gotten one the other day too, that I've got one of those ground converters that will convert me from a 3-prong to a 2-prong, and I cannot plug into this barn unless I have that converter. So it's imperative that I have that converter. Also, too, just another word of caution, sometimes you get into some older barns, and there was one story once upon a time that I plugged in, and I'm sure it was for lack of proper ground, obviously, and likewise the outlet was not grounded properly, and I went to turn my grinder on, and yeah, it was a shocking experience, to say the least.
Mark, how many horses do they own?
Yeah, again, when you're first having the introductory talk with your potential new client, you need to establish how many horses do they have, are they all going to be on the same schedule, and also what each horse is going to be needed to be done to them, whether or not they may be young horses, they may be still unbroken, they may be older horses that may not need to be trimmed or shod as regularly or even shod at all. So again, it's to save yourself time and to be able to work efficiently, establish how many horses that the client has, what their expectations are from you, how often the horses need to be done, just to be able to communicate, so just to allow yourself a good amount of time to accommodate the horses and be able to have a good rapport with the client whilst you're there, especially the first time you're turning up there. You don't want to be in a hurry, clock watching and all the rest of it and thinking about getting on to your next call. You need to, certainly for that first appointment, make the extra time, at least another 10-15 minutes, just to be able to communicate and get to know the client, and for the client to get to know you and for you to get to know their horses.
Great. Pete, explain your expectations.
Yeah, it's good to have a conversation with clients before you start, especially on these backyard horses. You don't know them, about what you'll put up with, behavior of the horse, who's on time. I always try to be on time. If I'm not, I'll call, but I expect the owner to be on time. The condition of the horse, is it a lame horse, or does he have some problems picking his feet up? What you'll put up with that. About getting paid, expectations about getting paid. You're going to pay now, you're going to pay later. How we're going to do that? Am I going to bill you? So, and I tell them all, I said, I have a pain in the butt rule. If it becomes a pain in the butt, then we're not going to do this, because life's too short. So then I go on from there.
Great, thank you. Dean, expect bad lighting.
Well, sort of back to my electricity 101, but part of the point about the lighting is that a lot of these backyard clients, again, they're going to be working a day job, and once we get into daylight savings time, a lot of dark barns. So I am not necessarily a fan of carrying a halogen work light. I know that some guys will. Do be careful about the heat that they generate in a barn. Also, the direction you point at. You can easily blind the horse, the owner, and the whole 9 yards. But our technology has really increased, as Jeremy's slide would imply, and that is I do carry a miner's helmet, a band like this, and they come in very powerful lumens now. So just for 3 or 4 AAA batteries, and I carry rechargeable batteries, so it's really easy to swap stuff out. So it's not only while I'm underneath the horse, but even a lot around my truck. So I find that very useful.
Any known pathologies, Mark?
Again, discuss this with the client before you arrive. Is their horse or pony suffering from laminitis and navicular or anything like that? And provide yourself with the information. If need be, some of these clients are relying on you to give them information, so they may not be particularly knowledgeable. So if you're able to establish, for instance, if a horse has laminitis, you may be able to just store some photographs on your tablet or your mobile phone. So when you get to the client, you're able to explain to them exactly what pathology their horse is enduring, is suffering from, and so you're just able to communicate more. And when you're working on the horse, you can explain anything that's visibly external, as in with say laminitis, looking at distended white line, bruising, etc., irregular growth rings and things like that on the hoof wall. So again, it's important to understand what pathology there is there. And obviously, if you're working, shoeing, or trimming a horse that's suffering from some pathology, that's going to take a longer amount of time. So you need to work on your time, establish you've got enough time to be able to do a good job and be able to communicate what you're doing to the client.